You know those projects around your house that you've put off for years. Well, that's how I am with lights right now. Bulbs, switches, motion sensors, lots of stuff to fix. But first, let's start with bulbs. All right, let me explain to you what's going on with the bulbs around our house. It's the age-old debate, 5,000 Kelvin or 2,700 Kelvin. Cool white versus warm white. Good versus evil. That's right. You don't see pictures of heaven in 2,700 Kelvin, let me tell you that. So when we first moved into the house, our builder put in warm lights that had really low CRI score, and they looked horrible. I mean, especially on YouTube videos. So I wanted some lights that would look a lot better for filming, and I ended up going with the Sylvania 5,000 Kelvin bulb. They're okay. They're really cheap. They die in about a year or two, so that's not great. And the cool white, well, it does look clean. It doesn't look great at night, especially when you're trying to wind down. It's not a warm, cozy feeling. People say it looks like a hospital. I kind of agree. So I wanted to see what else is out there and if there was a better bulb for our house. So I bought 3 different styles to see what would be the best fit. So the first ones I wanted to check out were these from Philips, or the Ultra Definition. They have really high CRI score, like over 95. And I went with the cool ones just to see maybe it would look better than the cool whites I had before. No, it's just maybe slightly better, still about the same. I needed to try something else. So then I tried out some warmer bulbs from Philips, and these have the warm glow effect. And if you've ever heard of those, they're pretty sweet. As it's brighter, it's cooler, and as you dim the lights, they get warmer. Well, I was hoping that they'd be cooler at the brightest level, but it's still about 2,700 Kelvin at the brightest level and about 2,200 or so at the lowest dim setting, which is still just too warm for me. I think it's a cool idea, but it won't work for our house. So I'm like, there has to be something in the middle, not too cool and not too warm. So I found these bulbs from Philips, and you can actually adjust the white temperature with a little switch on it. It can go from 2,700 Kelvin up to 5,000. So we tested out the different white temperatures, and 3,500 Kelvin was perfect for us. That's neutral white, not cool or warm. It's right in the middle. But these bulbs, they don't have the best lifespan, and they were a little more expensive than I was hoping for. So I found these other bulbs on Amazon from Fight, and these were a little less expensive and have twice the lifespan of them. But when I tried them out, they had more of a pinkish hue to it, and they weren't as bright. So I was bummed about that. And even though these are tempting because they seem better in the long term, I liked how the Philips ones looked. So I ended up buying a bunch of these, and luckily they're on sale for Prime Day. So I just bought a bunch for our house. Now, I know there's probably people out there thinking, why not just go with smart bulbs instead of just dealing with all this hassle? Well, we have over 60 can lights around the house. So if we did that, first of all, that would be a lot of money. And the other reason is we want dumb bulbs in our ceiling with smart light switches. That way they're extremely reliable and family friendly. They're never going offline, and you can always turn them on and off with the switch on the wall. I also have seen those like wafer LED lights that just sit flush with the ceiling, and those look extremely nice. I definitely think those look nicer than what we have. But again, I don't want to replace all the can lights with those around our house. I'm lazy. That's just pretty much why I'm not doing that. So yesterday I started replacing a bunch of ceiling bulbs around the house with those 3,500 Kelvin ones, and it looks so good. It's not too warm, but it's still cozy. It's very comfortable at night. And during the day, like watch, I'll turn them all on. You know, you can tell that they're a little bit warmer than the natural light coming in through the windows, but it's not so jarring and it doesn't look weird, where when I feel like the 2,700 Kelvin next to natural light, it just feels so off. So this one, it's perfect for us. Have you ever wondered what a box of 60 light bulbs looks like? Well, here you go. It was not fun swapping all these out. So now that the bulbs are all figured out, it's time to move on to smart switches. We've been using Brilliant in a few spots around the house, and they work great, but they're not very compatible with Home Assistant, which is what I use to run my smart home. So I'm going to be swapping these out with just regular smart dimmer switches. And we've been mainly using these as motion smart switches for the lights here in the hallway. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to automate these lights with motion sensing. The most difficult part of this whole project is remembering which circuit breaker to turn off to kill power to these smart switches. It's always the worst. First try, oh yeah, and I didn't edit the other tries out. I promise. All right, it's the next day. Swapping out those light switches turned into more of a challenge than I was hoping for. So those first two, they went smoothly, no problems at all. The second brilliant light switch that I swapped out, it seemed like it was working fine. I had all the wires configured right, but the ceiling light wasn't turning on. And so I thought I had messed something up. Turns out I didn't, and once I set up the light switch, it just started working. So not really sure what was going on. Maybe it wasn't fully reset or something like that. Anyways, I ended up going with the Zeus S2 Dimmer 800 series instead of Lutron, which I normally have throughout my house. It was just like half the price because I had a couple of them in a 3-way light switch. And with this, you only need the smart dimmer. You don't need any other switch or anything. It just uses your extra switch in the 3-way configuration, and it will just be like an on-off switch. So you don't have to do any extra wiring or any extra switches. Saves on cost. So pretty sweet. And I set up a few ways to automate these light switches. I put a third reality motion sensor, as well as a millimeter wave sensor that will turn on our little like mudroom area. And those lights were just automated with that brilliant light switch, but sometimes it wouldn't see the kids putting on their shoes right there, so the lights would turn off on them. The millimeter wave sensor is gonna be way better at sensing anybody in that little area and keeping the lights on if someone's putting on their shoes. So Allie's happy about that. Now, there is one more millimeter wave sensor that I added to the hallway lights. It is so cool that I have to do a dedicated video on this. I don't want to spoil too much because it's so awesome. I can't wait to talk to you guys about this, but I'm so happy that I swapped out all the bulbs in our house. It looks so much better. Allie's been teasing me because I've been so excited about light bulbs. I don't know, is that sad? As a homeowner, I'm so excited about light bulbs around the house, but it really does transform the entire house. I love how it looks and can't wait to show you that millimeter wave sensor soon. So stay tuned and thanks for watching.